Hello and welcome to my biofuel project. For my project, I chose biogas. Some background and introduction. In the 17th century, it was discovered that decaying matter released a flammable gas, and later it was determined that that gas was methane. And then even later, they built the first large-scale anaerobic digester, which is a huge part of biogas production that we will touch on later. And then biogas that was produced through a sewage plant was used to power streetlights. So as we can see, this has been a long set thing that has been in use for a while. How is a source for biogas cultivated? It actually isn't. So it's organic waste, so it doesn't need to be grown or anything like that. It's something that's already there. So things like manure, food scraps, oil, even that's like we said earlier, sewage, it's gonna be gathered and made it into like a slurry-like mixture. And so you just need to collect it. You don't need to grow it or cultivate it. So how is biogas produced? Essentially, you're going to mix the aforementioned things together in something called an anaerobic digester, and the bacteria that is naturally present in the waste is going to break down that waste anaerobically through fermentation and is going to release methane and CO2, and this is your biogas. So we're going to collect the methane and the CO2, which as we talked about in lecture, CO2 is a big thing that is put out when something goes through fermentation. And it is also going to create something called digestate, which we're not going to touch on too much since we're talking about biogas. But as you can see through this process, you're going to create two separate things which can both be used. Biogas can be used for heat, electricity, or vehicle fuel. It's very versatile and is a very good substitute for natural gas. So for biogas and the carbon footprint, as I said, it is zero waste. So that means everything that you get out of it, you can use, which is very useful when considering a carbon footprint. So everything that is going to be produced, biogas and digestate, can be used. Another thing that is important is that it reduces the methane emissions. It does this by capturing the methane that is normally released into the atmosphere, and it does not involve combustion. And everything that is used is renewable, so it is a renewable resource. The developmental status is very well developed. It's a widely available resource and it has a well-established process. It's used by many countries and it has multiple benefits. The economic impact is that it's going to transform something that's low value, waste, into something that's high value, which is energy. Doing this is going to create jobs because you have to build the thing and you have to have things like supply line workers, everything like that. And there's also going to be reduced cost for farming and waste sectors. Farming, because it's going to complete a cyclical thing, so they're going to be able to take their manure and make fertilizer and have no waste and be able to use everything. And waste, because there will be less waste, so they won't have to spend as much money to take care of all the waste. As far as communicating with the public, there's been a variety of methods. There's been campaigns such as the Green Energy Revolution, Biogas for a Sustainable Future, workshops, and of course things like journals and research papers, which is how I learned about biogas for this project. So it's probably one of the most readily things that is available for the public are journals and research papers. Personally, I think biogas is a great option because it takes something that's not useful, which is waste, and makes it into something that we need more of, which is a sustainable resource. Through equipment and collection, you can naturally use that anaerobic process that is already happening when waste is broken down, and you can harvest that. We're going to get into the next steps for the next slide. My plan of action is very simple. It looks complicated, but essentially, you're going to begin using biogas in major cities after spreading that popularity through social media, and you're going to do that through three ways. The first way is by collecting municipal compost and sewage, essentially home sewage, business sewage, all that kind of stuff. And it's just going to set up a system so that we can actually collect it and have it organized. Then you're going to connect landfills with biogas plants so that stuff will already be deposited into the biogas plants and thus repurposed. And then you're going to also add biogas plants while in major cities to also livestock and farming areas to connect these are very large scale things that produce a lot of emissions, and by connecting these with the biogas industry, you will thus prevent as much emissions from being put into the atmosphere. As a result of these three things on the right, biogas will be used in daily life that is produced, and it will have been completely implemented into society. These are my sources. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.